So what have I told you? Like, in a nutshell, most of the battles and everything dealing with the wars and trying to attain gold and all this was basically a fight for true spirituality. So basically, they were trying to get to all these gemstones and make sure they get to gold. And when you understand that, you understand why Africa's been being raped since day one. But like gold and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? Or like brass breastplates, you know, all these, how could I say, all these things about stones and how they, you know, the kings and queens wore all the gems and jewels and stuff like that. Like, it makes you realize that everything, all these fights and all these wars and stuff like this, always been behind true spirituality and trying to chase the amplification of your vibration. Like, they've been understanding that gold is one of the, you know, one of the highest, like, you know what I'm saying, amplifiers of vibrations and purifiers. Like, you know, gold is one of the top, if not the top. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, beings from across the universe came to, you know, to try to attain it. But like things like what you got in the Bible where they talk about Aaron's breastplate, you know, the Hebrew breastplate and having 12 stones, like that was all about stuff just like how I got the video about the Metatronic shield and how to keep your oil from leaking. That was all the stuff they knew about. And they were trying to, you know, enhance. And sometimes when you only got so much resources, what that cause, you know? That cause people to, you know, fight over them if they don't know how to share, you know, dealing with unconditional love. You know, then that's going to have nothing but a bunch of nations fighting, you know, for certain minerals and certain things, you know what I'm saying? Because if I got brass and I can't, you know, because like say for instance in like a lot of the Trojans and Greece and stuff like that, they were using like brass protection or whatever. But then you guys down in Africa where they got the gold at, where they not only getting the amplification, you know what I'm saying? Like if it was used as a, say for instance, as a chest plate to fight in war, it would also be very protective. But you know, if you got brass and somebody else got gold, and if you know, say for instance, if you're not trying to get it under righteous means, then you're gonna start a war and go try to, you know, attain all that lapis lazuli and all that, because lapis lazuli was one of the main stones that was used in those times, you know what I'm saying? Because matter of fact, lapis lazuli is very important to your Metatronic shield, you know. But all these things dealing with the, even down to somatics, where that's where you get your Star of David and your different, you know, star tetrahedron to be exact, but you get your different sacred geometry shapes and stuff from vibrations and the waves and the, you know, the waves and the shapes they give off when they vibrate. You know, that's where you get your a lot of your symbols from, like the Ankh and the Star of David, things of this nature. But just thinking though, down to the truthfulness, that matter of fact, the Freemasons and all that shit, they just hiding that real information. Like they making y'all think it's all about a real Jesus and real, or making you even think about Satan and all this shit. And it's really about trying to attain that, how could I say, trying to ascend, trying to amplify your vibrations, you know what I'm saying? Because when you amplify your vibrations, you become very powerful in essence, you know. If you decalcify your pineal gland and you got all kind of gold, like, you know, protecting your Metatronic shield and staying conscious, man, that's very powerful, you know. And that's what everything was about. Also, you could throw into the situation with how shrooms and stuff of that nature kind of started off a caste system also, where the person like that could, at least the people who had the abundance of shrooms, you know what I'm saying, they could, you know, take it, and then the psilocybin effect, you know, would kick in and release the DMT and kind of, you know, start that connection to God, you know. And it all started from, you know, just indigenous people being able to use it as they please because it was abundant, you know what I'm saying? Because it would come from, matter of fact, that's where you get a lot of the worship of the cows and stuff of that nature, you know, worshiping the cow, because it comes from their dung, comes from their shit, you know what I'm saying? Like mushrooms and, you know, matter of fact, mushrooms, like that's where it comes from, you know, it's a fungus that comes from that shit. And with the psilocybin effect in it, you could connect, you know what I'm saying, you could connect to all the different dimensions, you know what I'm saying, and connect to source, you know what I'm saying. It's basically like what the yogis do through proper cryo yoga meditation and techniques, basically, because they attain that type of feeling and being through meditation processes and different techniques, you know. That's also like a proven science on their side. But like with the psilocybin and things of that nature, that's basically what all, you know, how the caste system start. Because back to that, if we all, you know, got mushrooms is abundant, all right, we all could, you know, take a little piece and connect, you know what I'm saying, go about our business, you know what I'm saying, because it's abundant, this and that. But, you know, things change, you know, matter of fact, it increases your eyesight. So if so-and-so over here, you know, taking it, you know, in small doses, increasing their eyesight, expanding their consciousness, they're going to learn a little more and do, you know, be able to do a little more. Now, if they use that, and not say a bad way, but dealing with the fight or flight instinct, so if they deal with it in the sense of like, all right, man, I see this enhance our abilities, man, let's make sure we keep a lot of this, or, you know, make sure we never run out, or go attain somebody else's ones. But either way, you know, you start to get the scarcity of the mushrooms, so bam, you got to make sure you're cultivating them right and all this within your, you know, your family or within your tribe. Then, you know, within that situation, like I say, the strongest tribe is going to be the people with the more abundant, you know, amount of mushrooms, because they'll be able to connect to God, get that consciousness, keen eyesight in case they are hunters, you know, and not planners, dealing with, you know, being one with the earth, you know. But like they'll get the keen eyesight, so their empire kind of, you know, get bigger, or their tribe. And so after so long, though, once they get away from, like, you know, say for instance, for some reason they get away from the plants and, you know, start to hunt and this and that, you know, then it comes down to, you know, who, like I say, who got the more resources. And once you see who has the more resources, then it becomes a thing of like, all right, we need to build a statue within our own society, because we can't be sitting around taking mushrooms all day. These people trying to attack us over here. We got to plant some shit over here, you know what I'm saying, some fruits, or we got to go hunting, you know what I'm saying. We need people to carry out different tasks, you know what I'm saying. So with that being said, it's like, all right, we need to appoint somebody to take the mushrooms, to, you know, to get on the psilocybin and connect, like get into this world, these dimensions, and connect and tell us, you know, what God say, you know, what he got back, what's the vibration that he got from being, you know, in that state. And once that happened, then you create priests. And that's where the beginning of, you know, the craziness with the misconceptions of religion and all this fake spirituality and wrong spirit, like all this begin. Is when you give that priest that authority to, you know, here, you take the mushrooms, you know, then bam, after so long, you know, they back, oh, he said plant so many seeds over here in the left corridor of this area, and take this many cows and do this, and, you know, and then it could turn into something negative, where it could turn into either, oh yeah, sacrifice this, or, you know, do that. But it could become egotistical through the priest, you know what I'm saying. The priest could be like, you know, start discussing with the other priests, hey, let's tell them bring us like 5 cows, you know, man, I'm getting hungry, I ain't ate in a minute. Matter of fact, you know, on a whole nother note, without going off subject, you know, once you start eating more stuff like cow and all that, you're calcifying your pineal gland, and you're not really staying, even though you're taking psilocybin and connecting, you still kind of got that lower nature, you know, pumping through your bloodstream. So that's a big point and stuff, so remember that. But anyway, so these priests like, all right, bring us 5 goats instead of 2, you know what I'm saying. And they grow up in it, and it just become an egotistical thing, and then they start building their church, you know what I'm saying. And from the church, you know, you get stuff like Vatican, the Pope. Well, matter of fact, in the Pope, well, with lapis lazuli, you know, they know about gemstones and how the 12 tribes of Israel, all that resonate with zodiac signs, and different gemstones resonate with certain zodiac signs, like how the word geometry is kind of like saying the cycles of Earth, geo, you know, dealing with Earth, the cycles of Earth, the vibration cycles of Earth. You know, arithmetic is almost like the God vibrations or the God cycles, you know what I'm saying, of the galaxy, you know. Everything has vibrations, frequencies, and cycles, you know what I'm saying. People been knowing this, but what they gonna tell you is, oh yeah, look, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, and they ain't gonna tell you Ishtar and this and that, you know what I'm saying. Or they gonna try to tell you Jesus, this and that, not the principles of Isis and Osiris and, you know, Horus and Ra, you know what I'm saying. Like, that's where the big mix-up, you know, came in at, you know. It was like all these lies, you know, once the ego came into play, in which if you pay attention to all these ancient texts or things in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, because I tell people, ain't nothing completely wrong with the Bible in that sense, but it just, I tell people, just make sure you know what you're reading, know how to interpret the text, because if you interpret it wrong, you just might send yourself into even a more of a world of trouble. Like you just mess yourself all the way up, you know, not understanding. But like I say, all this come back to full circle about like how the gemstones, the vibrations, like they've been knowing about the vibrations of quartz and all this, and that earth is a living thing, you know what I'm saying? People been knowing these type of things about spirituality. You know, that's why, like I say, all the kings and queens, they're trying to attain lapis lazuli. Matter of fact, that's where you get the color purple from in some cases, like because it was so rare, the scarcity is like if you could get a hold to it, you was royalty. Same thing like with the mushrooms and the gemstones and stuff like that. Why you think Egyptians was walking around with, you know, with gold bracelets and gold, you know, matter of fact, the Kemites, you know, the people from the land of Kemet before Egypt, you know what I'm saying, before, you know, all of the confusion started. But they've been wearing like, you know, gold and all the bracelets and stuff, amplifying their vibration. And that goes to show you like why to this day people still trying to dig their hands in Mother Africa and killing Mother Earth, you know. And that all resonates, you know, from, it's just a trickle-down situation from that first lie or that first hide in the spirituality. Matter of fact, like things like the 1%ers and people like with the Illuminati, things of that nature, they all kind of Freemasons, they got that information, you know, they know this and just choose to keep it amongst themselves, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a realist, like it's a free will universe, you know. I wish they would share with everybody, but to each his own, you know, we all got our own little, like I said, our own vibration to ourselves, our own, you know, pathway that we're on. But that all has to do, you know, like the zodiac signs, vibrations, cycles, arithmetic, and that's where you get sacred geometry, like the cycles of earth and rhythms, you know, cymatics, you know, that's all one little nutshell of the whole situation. Like if you just dig into everything I just told you just now, you're gonna come out so enlightened to, you know, you're gonna have so many comments under this video like, man, you know, thank you. And you don't have to thank me. There's free knowledge, you know what I'm saying? There's knowledge that should have been given to me and all of us since kindergarten. My parents should have knew about stuff like this, so they've been teaching me about these principles a long time ago, you know. But things are changing and they will change and it's happening. But just wanted to give y'all that insight, because a lot of people don't know that. It's just simple things of knowing that information. It just trickled down to, all right, so that's why so and so did this, like, all right, because I saw, like, you know, where they saw the Greeks only had bronze, you know, in which I mean brass, and brass also is a mineral, you know, that can amplify stuff too. And like how they had brass, but, you know, wanted something like gold and stuff to get that, you know, if you're not gonna be divine and righteous about it, you're gonna go kill somebody and steal it, you know. But get close to my 15 minutes, you know. Happy now, of course, stay in the moment, you know. Now is to vibrate, not the past, not too far in the future. Right now, do some studying on everything I just brought into full circle, and it'll bring you a lot of enlightenment. Happy now, peace, unconditional love to all.